It's NFC Championship week. It's 60 minutes to Glendale, so I thought we would double up, maybe even triple up on a little Chalk Talk this week. So much good stuff in that Carolina game, and I have a sense and a hunch that what Carolina did from a game plan standpoint, you're going to see some components of from Dom Capers and the Green Bay Packers this week. We never deviate. Players, formations, plays. Players, formations, plays. And by the end of the game, and this was the final touchdown pass on third down to Luke Willson, a huge play at 17-10 in the red zone, nearing the red zone, the 25-yard line, 10:36 in the fourth quarter. And by this time, you had a really good idea, really on both sides of the ball, exactly how Seattle was going to attack third downs and what Carolina was going to do on the other side. And at this point, Russell was already 7 for 7, perfect, with 2 touchdown passes, and this was the capper of them all. And I think this one is really all about Russell deciphering what is going on, what the pre-snap picture looks like, and then ultimately, because of that pre-snap picture, being able to react really, really quickly. Players, get Russell into space. We saw it on third down all the time. Get players into space, spreading the 53 yards all the way across the field so that Russell could get a clear picture of what this Carolina defense was going to do against their attack in that space. Formations, well, you're going to see a very similar formation to many of their third downs. 11 personnel, which is Marshawn and Luke Willson. They got into their trip set, which they did a number of times. That 3-by-1 formation. When you hear 3 receivers by 1, 3 by 1, and you try to, with that formation, really force, again, the issue in the hand for Carolina to try to diagnose what they're going to do in their blitz, and then ultimately the play. And this was all about, as I said, Russell Wilson having a very clear idea. I don't think he makes this play as a rookie. I don't even know if he makes this play last year, but when he says he is locked in, boy, this play epitomized it. Why? Because Carolina, in a pre-snap look, is trying to really not give Russell any clue of what's happening. The Seattle Seahawks end up running what they call a scat protection. That is just 5-man protection because Marshawn's going to free release into the flat. And on this side, boy, it's fun to watch Doug Baldwin communicate. We saw earlier on the touchdown pass, he's giving Russell the little goggles back and forth. They're seeing what they're seeing. They saw cover 0, all-out blitz, and they scored the touchdown. And this time you can see Doug Baldwin really communicating with Russell, getting a pretty good picture of what's going on. It's not man-to-man coverage. Why? Why do you know right away this is not man-to-man coverage? Because earlier in the game, in a very similar look, what did you see? You saw Luke Kuechly come out and play man coverage. Not this time. They keep the corners back. The corners are off. These safeties are trying to mix and match a little bit, and Doug can clearly see it's not man, but it may be a pressure look, and that's exactly what Carolina does. They fire zone, okay? They ultimately are going to get to 3 deep with 3 underneath, and they're going to bring 5 defenders here. And this guy, 97, gets caught in no man's land. He's what we call a jack defender. 3 down, and he's trying to jack and trying to mess with Russell Wilson. But Russell, by this stretch of the game, knew that when 58 was on the line, 58 was going to come screaming into the backfield. Thomas Davis with his speed. Good for Russell that he got the ball out of his hand because Mr. Britt had a tough time blocking a one-on-one. And Mr. Jack defender, no man's land in, trying to attract the attention of J.R. Sweezy so he can't pop out to Davis, but he gets too far in. It leaves too big a window, and when you see it, when you read it, when you diagnose it as quickly as Russell does, and watch, it was a good thing he did because 2 defenders are coming right at him. It's a pretty easy game of pitch and catch. Luke Willson catches it, he does the rest. Players, formations, plays, and as much as anything in this Chalk Talk, it's number 3, seeing the picture, it's diagnosing, it's being a surgeon, and it's taking care of business. This Chalk Talk brought to you by USI Kibble and Prentice, Maticia Consultants, and your local Buick GMC dealers.